Over and over again during my hunting seasons, I've heard you're only as good as your equipment. And it couldn't be more true than when I'm elk hunting. There is a shared goal between the hunter and the craftsman when it comes to the pursuit of an animal. And that goal is to have all your focus placed on the hunt, not the gear. No worries, out of sight, out of mind.
Well, what I want you to do right now is kind of step into a little bit of a time machine, like what I like to call my virtual DeLorean, because the scene you just saw a moment ago is me actually wearing a brand new pair of elk hunters. However, it's now August the 7th. We've stepped back a little bit, and I want to introduce you to my good friend, Mr. Jay Bosshart, who is affectionately known as our leather jockey here at Danner Boots. Jay is responsible for the foundation of every single pair of handmade leather boots that go out of this factory. It begins with the leather.
We do 100% inspection on each and every leather. That's different than anybody else in the industry. We've raised our standards. We put in place processes to minimize waste, to guarantee a higher quality of leather.
You know, Danner was always founded on providing that high quality product to the end customer.
Each piece of leather has its own personality.
What you're really buying is that quality, and you're buying that long lasting and durability.
I think this is the one. It's got a ranch brand. It's like, and I feel it. So I'm kind of ready to turn this into my pair of elk hunting boots.
Great, well, let's get started.
All right, let's do it.
We're gonna do a 5-step testing process. And these tests are largely to simulate the types of stresses as it goes through different pieces of machinery to make the boot. It's a little pin that travels up 8 millimeters. That's the same distance that the leather that goes over the toe of the boot will travel. A thickness test. We have a softness test. It's within our range.
Passed 4 tests so far.
We also have a waterproof test. That's the only test that's random sampled.
Let's put some shoelaces on it.
Well, that's going to make a pretty big boot, so we're going to have to cut that down to size.
Okay, all right, I see.
I would say the elk hunter, and it's seen a lot of success since it's been introduced. The way it's constructed, where you have really large pieces of leather, it's really supple. As soon as you slip this boot on, it feels like it's already broken in.
He's right now marking the areas that aren't cuttable.
Anything that was a quality control issue, like he just marked out with a pin, they're normally after that process, it would go to this machine that's just over your left shoulder.
Correct.
Where it would be cut. We're a little bit more special today. We're gonna hand cut this piece, right?
We're gonna do it old school.
Okay.
Started for the logging business in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and then later Portland, Oregon, Danner was built on the premise of producing a high-quality, handmade, durable product. As the company grew, so did its line of boots, hiking, hunting, uniform, work, and lifestyle, all built on the same traditions instilled by Charles Danner and his family over 80 years ago.
Over the years, what people have really appreciated is, as a company and as a brand, we view conservation as an integral part of giving back to the land and support organizations that have that same mentality. So what RMEF stands for aligns very much with what Danner stands for on the conservation side. It's phenomenal what they do, and to be a small part of it is truly an honor for us at Danner.
We're gonna cut this piece of leather and then emboss it and turn it into my pair of elk hunter boots for this season.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
I mean, for me personally, I got my first pair handed down when I was 12 years old, and I really became passionate about the product then.
Same changes? No. Now new. That way you don't have that extra one in there.
And just knowing that that product that my dad wore, that his dad wore, is passed down, and we're still producing the same quality today. There's that level of hands-on involvement in the process that really makes you feel prideful about your work and know that exactly what you're doing is directly impacting this pair of boots, that's impacting, you know, this customer.
So this piece, that's the last piece to our full pair of leather for one pair of Elk Hunter boots, ready to go get embossed.
Nice. Say that no matter what, hands down, this is going to be the coolest pair of boots that I own. This American flag doesn't exist on the pair of Elk Hunters. It's typically a loop label. So we quickly custom stamped in here. It's an absolute one-of-a-kind pair of boots.
You know, the human element plays a big role in manufacturing of leather product. And you gotta have that to really be able to adapt.
26 different operations that product goes through.
So now basically what she's doing is she's putting the liners inside the boots.
It's a single boot, probably has about 30 to 40 people that actually touch it.
What it takes to actually build this boot as far as the upper goes, fewer seams or fewer chances for this thing to break down over time, and I think, you know, the wear life on this is phenomenal.
So the machine's going to put in the correct spacing between eyelets.
I mean, this is like one of the most important parts of the handmade process.
Absolutely, yeah, and the fit on your boot, I mean, lace could be too short or too long. And
This is as handmade and as original as you can possibly get. So how far are we from completion?
we're about 60% of the way through.
Okay.
But this next step is really where it starts to transform and start looking a lot more like a shoe than just an upper. So we're going to get the last in the boots, stitch on a midsole, and then last but not least, we'll put on the Danner Bob outsole.
You know, one thing that makes Danner really unique is the aesthetics of our product and how it's just stood the test of time.
A lot of people that know the Danner brand know the Elk Hunter name. It's kind of got a cult following in some sense.
So it flanges it under, and then we'll open it up, and that way you can stitch through the leather.
Gotcha.
People who are sewing those pieces of leather together, lasting those boots over, sanding those soles. So where all you have to do is really just look at it, put it in the box, and send it on its way.
So we came for like that one giant piece of leather, now we're down to this. Like this is we're ready to go. I've almost got a brand new custom pair of Elk Hunters.
And having all those hands touch it, going through that process, I think is very special.
I mean, there's a lot of pride in it for me, but the more important part is there's a lot of pride for the employees that are down there making that product every day.
I think it's important for us to be able to continue to make product in the U.S. and fly the flag on it.
Going from earlier today, just a piece of leather, to what they've been able to turn it into, this American classic elk hunting boot, and handmade here in America. Thank you very much. Thank you. So here they are, brand new, out of the factory that we just built. Open the box, and the classic American elk hunting boot, the Danner Elk Hunter, handmade right here at the factory in Portland, Oregon. I've worn, you know, every pair of Danners you can possibly imagine, ironically enough, except this Elk Hunter. And man, it's my first day with them. I've no break-in period, no nothing. I just went straight to the field with them, and I can't tell you how impressed I am. They're really, really incredible. And this bob sole that they have, like we're standing on the shale right now, it just gives you insane responsiveness and really incredible grip. I hate to use the word old, but that's what we all want, right? We all want an old pair of really awesome boots that are super comfortable and very broken in. It's feels like a baseball glove that's been worn for 10 years. I mean, it's hard to explain. Really amazing, and probably now, without question, it's my new favorite pair of boots.
You're not going to really find something better in our line that can fit you right out of the box and a wide range of people better than the Elk Hunter.